Welcome to the 1800s, where people wore corsets, drank way too much tea, and thought boiled mutton was the height of cuisine. If you didn't know, the Victorian period spanned from 1837 to 1901. This week, I'm eating nothing but Victorian foods for 7 days straight. What could possibly go wrong? To prepare for this video, I did do a lot of research into different archives online and my local library where I obtained books. The main book I looked to for these recipes was the original Boston Cooking School cookbook from 1896. That's old. I then cross-referenced any recipe that I found, also searching online in other archives. I did the best research that I could. And if something's still wrong, there's nothing I can do about it. So Victorian food was all about pies, stews, puddings, and things like calf's foot jelly. Yeah, that's a real thing. But in efforts to not throw up during this video, I did choose some recipes that contained more basic ingredients prepared in ways that I was not used to having. So first up on the menu is eggplant with poached eggs. This recipe started by cutting an eggplant in half and scooping out the seeds on the inside. It said scoop out all of the seeds, but pretty much the entire eggplant had seeds. So I was a little confused. That didn't make sense to me, so I just kind of stopped when I felt like it because I needed some meat to the bones. Next, it was time to drop it in some boiling water, and then it was time to make the filling. This filling contained butter, tomato, ham, breadcrumbs, and salt and pepper. Once my eggplant was sufficiently boiled, I scooped it onto a plate and filled that puppy up. Now it's time to bake in the oven, which I don't even think it gave me a bake time, so yeah. While that was baking, it was time to make my poached eggs. Now this is something I do often, so I'm pretty good at it. I might even call myself a pro. At this point, I just add vinegar to my water and it makes the perfect poached eggs. Once my eggplants were done baking in the oven, it was time to put those poached eggs on top. And there you have it, eggplant with poached eggs. Let's give it a try. I will say, I'm a big fan of poached eggs on literally anything. It's one of my favorite things to add to a dish. Can't stand parsley. Think it's disgusting. Don't know why we eat it. Don't understand. But just within making all of this, I already have a feeling it's gonna be a little too bland, but we're gonna see. Let me try to get a bite. Kind of just like breakfast. If I were to make this on my own, I probably would have added onion, cheese, I'm such an American, removed the parsley. It's almost incomplete. That's how it feels. The tomato sauce is very acidic. One thing I absolutely did not expect was for me to like the eggplant because I tried it before I added anything to it and it just tasted like earth, like soil, like I was eating dirt. Not good. So I was a little worried having that be the base, but it actually levels out the acidity levels of the tomato. Like when I take a bite and I have the eggplant, the tomato's not too acidic anymore. Because there's room for improvements. If I had to rate this one, I'm gonna have to rate it a 4. I love the egg and I think it could have been done 1,000 times better, but the way that it was instructed to be made, oh my gosh, it just, no. Next up, we have chicken fricassee. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of chicken in general, so I was curious to see if I would actually like this. First, I started out by searing my chicken, searing, fancy word, with some butter in a pan. Now, the goal of this recipe is you're actually supposed to boil the chicken in water and kind of create a stock around that. I also realized later I was supposed to use chicken with bone in it to get more flavor, but look, we ain't pros here. Then I started chopping up all of my other ingredients, including the carrots and the onion, because I was gonna add that to the mixture next. Now it was time to add in that onion and a little bit of carrot. It literally said a few slices of carrots for this. We also got parsley in there, which I absolutely dislike. And then I added some flour to thicken it up a bit. But wait, we're not done. Then I added some eggs. Honestly, adding the eggs, genius idea. Didn't realize you could add this to a sauce like this. I'm gonna be doing this moving forward. Once I added my egg lemon cream mixture into that sauce, it was time to let it cook a little bit and add in my chicken. And voila, there we've got it. Chicken fricassee. I'm actually really excited to try this. Just like the ingredients, I knew it was gonna be good. At least I hope. Plus, I'm obsessed with lemon, egg being added to everything. The only thing I'm not a fan of is parsley. Parsley is in this dish once again. This smells really good. I really wanna try it. I'm so curious. Yeah, okay. That is so good. That's like actually incredible. The egg in here, I wish I could just drink this sauce. I have a couple of notes. I would get rid of parsley. I just can't stand it. Please garnish with something else. Goodness gracious. I do wish that there were more veggies because it just would make it more heartier, you know? Is that a word? Heartier? More hearty. This is incredible. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I give this 10 stars for sure. This is so good. I'm making this again. If you are considering making this, make it for sure. But I did do research of other people making this recipe. Follow that. Don't follow what I did because the instructions were not clear. I don't even know how it could taste any better. This is so good, guys. Something I'd like to try moving forward is instead of adding the amount of water it told me to, actually add less to make a sauce to go over the chicken. I think a nice hearty sauce would be good. This is great though, guys. Next up on the menu is cabbage salad with princess sandwiches. I started out by boiling my eggs because that was going to be a part of the sandwich, and cooking my chicken, which was also a part of the sandwich filling. Then I started chopping up that cabbage, which I should have gotten green cabbage, but I didn't have it, so yeah. Guys, the ball just dropped. Happy New Year! There's so many fireworks, my cat is... Do you hear the fireworks? Oh, my cat's so scared. She's so scared. Now back to cooking the chicken. Once it was done, it was time to shred it to bits and then pull out my boiled eggs. They're all done. Now it was time to drop in all of that cabbage into some boiling water, just to kind of make it soft enough to eat. I shredded the chicken, adding in some ham, mustard, vinegar, egg yolk, and mashed that up the best that I could. Now this did call for it to be minced, which I couldn't do, and I do think that would have turned out better if it was minced, but look, we're doing the best we can here. So that is my sandwich filling. I also added a piece of cheese, and it said butter was supposed to be added to the bread. Did not specify if this was a hot sandwich or cold, so I just kept it cold because it didn't say. And for the cabbage salad, I just added some vinegar, oil, and capers. Now let's give it a try. I have a princess sandwich and a cabbage salad. The cabbage salad did call for anchovies. I really could not bring myself to actually eat it with anchovies, so I opted out. I mean, already with the ingredients I have in it, it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see, but let's give it a go. And I think if I would have had a mortar, like what the instructions called for, and I was able to make this into kind of like a paste, it would have been a lot easier to make more moist with the apple cider vinegar, the olive oil, and the yolk. I think if I did it like that, it would really make a difference. Man, the bread fell apart so badly. I think I messed up by putting it on this bread. This bread feels like very dry. I don't know if I just got it from the store. I don't know if I got a bad loaf or something, but this bread not so good. Man, oh man, every recipe is so sour and has so much vinegar and mustard. It's just the same flavor every time. So I'm gonna give this one a 3. All right, the moment of truth. So I could not find green cabbage. I know there is a slight flavor difference in the purple. Plus it looks really pretty. I will say it's like the prettiest color ever. Not something I've ever seen on a menu, that's for sure. So let's give it a go. I have a feeling it's gonna be very sour, but I really don't know at this point. Yeah, let me get a bite with capers. Typically, I would not think to make a salad so plain. Like the ingredients were very minimal, very easy to make. I ended up serving my salad cold, but it said you can do it warm too. There's nothing like special about it besides the fact that it's boiled cabbage that is pretty unique. What would I rate this salad? If I had to rate this salad 1 out of 10, I would definitely rate this a 3. Pretty basic. literally just vinegar. I mean, come on, so much sour. Next up, we've got herb pancakes. Now, you don't even have to tell me that I did this entirely wrong. I know I did. I know. The instructions weren't clear. And apparently this herb pancake involved you actually like steaming the pancake in the oven in chicken broth. I don't know what kind of pancake you can do that with, but it's definitely not this one. I went and got some pancake mix from the store. That's right. And then I just added a bunch of herbs to it that it called for in the recipe. It's clear this is made wrong, but I guess that's the fun in trying to do this. Let's just try it. If I had to rate this one, I would give it a 1. If I could give it no stars, I would. But I gotta give it something, so it's gonna be a 1. This is not the correct way. There's just no way. It might look good, and honestly, in the heat of the moment, I was so hungry, I was kind of like, yeah, this is fine. But when I stopped filming this, I threw it away. You have no idea how happy I am to be even cooking for myself right now. I have been so busy the last 8 months because I've been working 6 jobs. I recently quit 2. Yay for me. I literally don't have time to do anything for myself. When I get home and have other things I need to do for myself, I can't focus. And then when I get home from work, I feel like I can't sleep either because I haven't had any time for myself. So I actually started incorporating small but impactful habits to my routine to make it feel like I kind of have control of my life and I'm doing something for me. And one of those things has been adding these performance shots to my morning routine and then adding the night shots to my night routine. The brand is called Magic Mind. They're actually the sponsor of today's video. It's like 2 things that I've been able to do for myself that don't involve work, it just involves prioritizing my health and my mental well-being. And I kid you not, within the first time drinking the focus shot, I felt happier, less stressed, more focused. And then the sleep shots, I actually noticed that it helped me wind down quicker within like 3 days. And for the first time ever, they are offering the sleep and the focus shot bundled up at a 45% off discount, which is going to be exclusively through my link below in the description box. So if you want to check that out, if you're kind of in a similar situation to me, this is one thing that you can do that's small, but it's something you're doing for yourself. You know what I mean? Thank you to Magic Mind for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so back to making food. Now the reason I went about making this, because you're probably like, wow, basic salad, very creative, Lanchin. The reason I chose this was because the dressing for this salad was made of egg yolk, which I thought was super unique and I was curious to try it. Some of the ingredients it called for, I had no idea what it was, like sweet oil, no clue what that is. I ended up, using alternatives, just olive oil. This included celery, radishes, cucumber, iceberg lettuce, pickled beets, and an egg dressing. So I am just eating a basic salad, and just the way it was prepared sounds good. No parsley though, so we're on the up and up. Okay, so I did get pickled beets, but they're really sweet. That's the only thing that's throwing me off, and I mean, they're really good by themselves, but I don't like them in the salad. Other than that, making a dressing out of egg yolk, really good idea. I think if I did it on my own, I'd probably add a little bit of mayonnaise in there. I love mayonnaise. But this tastes great. This tastes really good. I'm unsure how they would have used this as a salad dressing. I did add some water to my mixture to make it a little more runny. You know what? I'm gonna give this one 10. Yeah, it's bomb. I love it. So good. Wow. Yep. Next, it was time for something I was very interested in making because I just didn't think this was gonna turn out, and it was iceberg lettuce soup. This involved cooking some onions in butter, adding that iceberg lettuce, covering it in chicken stock and cooking that down, and then adding some creamer. Yeah, oh, and rice. Forgot about rice. Pretty simple, right? Let me try to get a piece with some lettuce. I'm actually a little worried. Like when you get a taco from Taco Bell, you get home and it's cold, so then you heat it up in the microwave and the lettuce gets all mushy? I feel like that's this. No way. No way that you can cook lettuce like this and eat it in a soup. What? You know how many times I've thrown lettuce out because it started getting soft and I'm like, no crunch. I could have just made soup out of it this whole time. wild. Guys, this actually tastes really, really good. I mean, iceberg is literally like 90% water, so no nutrients at all, but it's fine. There's no parsley. Thank goodness. I am really enjoying, though, the way that all of these recipes have used egg in them, like mixing egg into sauces with the cream. Wow. I might give this a 10. I might give it a 10, guys. In my head, I thought the fact that it was iceberg lettuce, it might taste a little weird and I wouldn't like it. That's why I chose that recipe specifically, because I wanted it to be weird. I've never had iceberg lettuce soup. All right, what am I gonna rate this one? What am I gonna rate it? Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at rating things, guys. I have to give it a 10. I'm totally making this again. I'm making this again for sure. It kind of reminds me a little bit of egg drop soup, but with iceberg lettuce in it. I feel like I would make this for someone and pleasantly surprise them with the ingredients and they would be like, oh, I didn't know you could eat iceberg lettuce in a soup. Let's give it a 10, baby. I hope you guys are still finding this enjoyable. I'm personally having a great time. I love it. Next, it was time for casserole of rice and meat. So if you've ever made meatloaf, I feel like this is how you make it. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. It was onion, celery, salt, pepper, egg, with some breadcrumbs. I mean, is that how you make like meatballs or meatloaf? I don't know, I feel like it's pretty close. Once that mixture was made, it was time to add it to a dish and layer some chicken broth on top of it, totally covering it and submerging it, and then adding some rice. And then once it was done baking, you're supposed to plate it with tomato sauce, which is what I did. All right, this is the last meal. I have a feeling it's gonna kind of be like a meatloaf, but let's just, let's try it. I mean, it's amazing. It's great. It tastes like a meatloaf. It's kind of like a meatloaf. Cooked differently, yes, but man, I like it a lot. And I've never made meatloaf before, but I would imagine this is a kind of like similar process to making it, and the instructions weren't very clear on how to exactly prep it. Like I just assumed it was like a meatloaf, but I think it's really good. I am gonna give this one an 8. Also, no parsley. I'm shocked this doesn't have parsley. Of all meals, I feel like it would have made sense to add parsley to this. But this time they said no. I'm gonna finish eating my meal and I'm gonna go back for seconds. So the stuff wasn't as bad as I thought. Everything actually came together pretty well. Yeah, I quite enjoyed this. This was fun, guys. If you try these for yourself, good luck. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and just going through this process with me. But yeah, I think after all of that, I'm going to say that the fricassee chicken was my absolute favorite. Definitely gonna be making that again. It was fantastic. If you made it to the end of the video, leave a heart. Guys, I'd love to see if you made it to the end. If you wanna check out any of these recipes for yourself, I will link them below. And if you wanna check out Magic Mind as well, I will also link them along with my discount code. That'll be in the description box. I'm so thankful for your love and support. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Look, if the 1800s had YouTube, these videos would be all the rage in the town. You should check them out. Why not?